greater unity when we come together as the different stakeholders. And I think Kenya has been known for showcasing how civil society, private sector, parliament, and all these other organizations can come together to accelerate sustainable development goals. Feel most welcome. It's a space where we exchange ideas, a space where we open up into the possibilities of collaborations, a space where we as Kenya come together to ensure that we can achieve that which needs to be achieved by 2030.
The past few years have not been easy for any of us. There have been economic shocks, there have been lingering effects of global pandemics, there have been climate disasters, conflicts, growing inequalities, especially now. And these challenges have tested us, not just our systems, but they've also tested our resolve. And yet, through the adversity, we've witnessed something remarkable. We've seen the strength of partnerships, especially in this room. We've seen the resilience of communities, and we've seen how innovation can unlock transformative possibilities, even in the toughest of times. But now the clock is ticking. With just 6 years left until 2030, our charge is clear. We cannot afford to think small anymore. We cannot afford to move slow. This is no time for business as usual. It's a time for bold thinking, for daring solutions, and for decisive action.
From the UN perspective, we support the government in the implementation of the government priorities. And UN has got what is called United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, which is actually has anchored all the 17 SDGs on the initiatives which are there to support the government, and from the health sector to education sector. But the framework for the UN is actually framed within the 17 SDGs.
Let us work, not just talk. Let's share ideas across the region. Ugandans are here and they're doing much better in agric. Let's copy the same. Let's have sustainable approaches to ensure that technology should not leave us behind. We are in the era of AI, and as much people may fear AI, those who fear AI don't want to use AI. The truth is that AI will not replace you, but those who use it will replace you. Before you're replaced, act and work towards achieving this.
These are SDGs for everyone in a given country. So, can we use this forum to come out with concrete actions that we are going to monitor by our own selves? Can we see ourselves as being extinct by 2030? I'm excited that we have the private sector being at the forefront of this. I'm excited that we have different civil society organizations, development partners in here. So it is my request that all of us come together and put an action plan that we are going to commit ourselves to realize.
We are drafting the way forward, concrete ideas and concrete actions that after this forum, we'll do a follow-up of each and every item that we are coming up with. So even we'll share with all the players, we have a concrete action plan, actionable, that each and every player, when we live here, each and every player must have a responsibility.
One of the ways Kiambu Pamoja Trust is impacting on the delivering of the SDGs is by empowering communities, and especially when it comes to citizens' engagement, more so in providing civic education, to enable them and to empower them to participate effectively during public forums.
As IDF, we are partnering with Homa Bay County government, and we are currently implementing a project known as Realizing the Promise of Leaving No One Behind through Social Accountability. So we use social accountability initiatives to achieve SDGs. And we are particularly on SDG 16.7. And we make sure that we use various social accountability tools to make sure that we engage the citizens in the implementation of SDGs.
Of course, a lot has happened, a lot has been done, and we must really just understand really where we are not where we were. If you came in a few years ago, I think anybody from the counties will tell, even from the national, will tell us that anything around early childhood education was a civil society agenda. The churches, the mosques, it was a faith-based agenda. But today, we have ECD as a function. They're operating, we have teachers, and it's something to look back to and ask ourselves, it's a contribution towards education, and that's very crucial. So we are making a lot of progress. We must recognize that we have improved access to education. We have done a lot of documentation of good practices across the counties, and that gives us a platform and opportunities for counties to learn from each other. And for us, I believe it's one of those things that we ought to celebrate even when we ask ourselves we are drawing closer, but we also must celebrate the gains that we have made even as we seek to address the challenges that we are facing.
What we have been doing as a grassroots organization is that we have been trying as much as possible to localize the sustainable development goals. We've also tried as much as possible to pick what is more relevant to us. You know, the sustainable development goals is our day-to-day life. But we decided to pick on SDG 11 and pick on making our cities safe for everyone. And on this, we have been able to map sexual harassment in public spaces and use the data to influence a lot of change. And we've also tried as much as possible to mainstream gender conversations into the other goals, so that it's a whole conversation everywhere, every day.
One of the things we have actually picked up as AU and NYD is skills development, so that we're able to co-create solutions with the communities. One of the big challenges is when implementers think they know the solutions that the communities need. So you need to go to the community, think with the community, come up with solutions with the community, and that is actually what we've been doing in terms of looking at what are the problems that especially the Kenyan context we are facing, and then we skill develop and looking at how do we now take these solutions to the next level in terms of helping the young people co-create solutions for local impact.
Now, the Kenya Vision 2030 is being implemented through the medium-term plan. Currently, we are at the 4th medium-term plan, which brings all together the government priorities that are implemented. Now, this medium-term plan has mainstreamed the SDGs. So all the priority programs that are addressing the SDGs are embedded in this medium-term plan, which brings on board the SDGs and the current government focus on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda.